Hi, and welcome to this edition of Issaquah Buzz, where we talk about all things business in Issaquah, from retail gossip to new restaurants. My name is Autumn Monahan, and I work with the city's communications team. And I'm here, as always, with Jen Davis Hayes, who's my favorite person to gossip Issaquah business with. How are you, Jen?
I'm doing wonderful, Autumn. It's been a crazy few months of business openings, and so it's exciting to see what also is coming up next.
Yeah, it's been quite a year already, and it's only March.
Yeah.
Although I'm amazed it is March. So before we turn to our gossip for this edition, make sure that you stay tuned later in our podcast for a spotlight on the Grange's 90th anniversary celebration, which our team covered just a couple weeks ago. All right, so turning now to some gossip. The first one actually was a coworker who's been eyeing this business sent it to us and said, "You guys didn't cover this on the Buzz." I went back and looked, and they opened a year ago. So I think we're
Ooh,
way past due, I know, in highlighting
sorry.
this. Um, but we need to go, Jen. That's just like plus inviting our other coworkers. So it's called Serenity Head Spa. Have you heard of this? Do you know more about it?
Well, I actually happened to be at the WorkLofts where they're located, and I saw all these balloons outside their door. It was after they weren't, there at the time. So I did
Yeah.
go and look online because I'm like, what is this place? Oh, I just want to go right now, like you said. So yeah, the scalp renewal and many facials and of course haircuts, but just somebody just working your head and all those
Mhm.
kinks and oh, I don't know. Right now, I'm just thinking about that. So, what do you know? Like, what did your colleagues say about these type of businesses?
She went to one in Seattle and absolutely loved it and said it was just such a nice treat and unique treat to get like a head treatment or a head massage. And also her hair just came out with a wonderful blowout. So full shampoo, full dry, the whole deal. I looked at Serenity Head Spa's menu, of course, doing my research, quote unquote. Yeah, it's just an interesting offering because you can even just go in, like you said, and get a haircut, or even just get your hair shampooed and dried if you have an event.
Mhm.
So, an exciting place to try. And mini facials. I've never heard that term. So,
No,
a fun
yeah.
way to treat yourself in just a mini fashion. So, we'll have to try it out. But excited that they're in town. And another one that we've talked about a bit. I've not been there yet, but Wild Birds Unlimited. So they're in the QFC Meadows Shopping Center,
Mhm.
and I have driven by. They are open. They do have stock. They are now just ready for customers, for all the bird lovers in Issaquah. And when I drove by, it finally clicked for me how I knew about this because there are other locations of Wild Birds Unlimited, and there was one other in another spot on the east side that I went to, and I purchased some birdseed that was also infused with hot pepper for my dad. My dad loves birds,
Okay.
but does not like all the other animals that come with birdseed.
Oh,
So the squirrels, rodents, raccoons, all the enemies in his garden. And so
yeah.
anyway, I was talking with the person working there, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you just have to buy seed that's infused with hot pepper or cayenne." And none of the other animals like to eat it. It's too spicy, but birds don't taste spice.
Oh,
I didn't realize I'd be talking about this in the podcast today, but here we are. So
we're
you've learned
learning.
something new. But Wild Birds does have like a whole line of spicy bird seeds. So as everyone's getting ready for the spring and excited to welcome
Yeah.
some nature back to their yard, go check it out.
Yeah, and we're really happy they did move from Redmond, so we're really happy that they
Yeah.
chose Issaquah to open this store. And I know I have heard from bird lovers they couldn't wait, they couldn't wait, and so I'm sure they've had people lining up trying to get
Hmm.
into the store. So exciting!
Yeah. Yeah. And also nice that we'll have some kind of regional business too, right? That people may
Yeah,
come to Issaquah as more of a
exactly.
destination for that kind of
It's a
store.
destination.
So
Yep.
yeah, so those are nice. All right. So what's the new restaurant that's open in town?
Yeah. So you remember the former Krawbar location?
Yes.
So downtown on Front Street. So Gui Chinese Cuisine. It was open earlier for a soft opening, but did their official ribbon cutting last Friday. And so the mayor was there, chamber was there. It was a great opportunity to celebrate this new business in downtown. And it was really crowded, and it continues to be as I walk by and see people in there. So again, one of those places that haven't tried yet. So maybe we need to head there for lunch someday. And so we're just really excited. Unfortunately, the Krawbar isn't there, but it does bring an opportunity for a new entrepreneur to open a restaurant, and that didn't stay vacant very long. So everybody go check it out, support the new businesses in downtown and throughout the city, and we'll continue to see, again, more businesses opening up over time this year as well. So
yeah. I've been watching the reviews. The reviews on the food sound great. I think there's a little bit of it's taking a little time at times to get a table. And I think that's because of all the excitement of a new restaurant in town and just a restaurant, just getting its operations, working, which takes some trial and error. So just pack your patience as you go support new businesses as a reminder. I was thinking of that too. So I know that I will not stop talking about good Lazy Doughnuts. I still have not tried good Lazy Doughnuts, but I am a loyal follower online, and I must go this weekend because their menu looks amazing as far as the flavors. But the owners posted, I don't know, we even talked about this, but they posted on Instagram last week, and it just shows just the challenges of having a new business and a small run business. All of their donuts require rising with yeast, and they take a lot of time, and they can't make that many. And so they're selling out within like 1 or 2 hours when they first open each morning. And so they had this video of just a plea of like, please pack your patience and know that it's really popular right now. They were just featured in the Seattle Times. So I think that helped with the lines too. But it was just, again, a reminder of, we are here to support new businesses, but we also have to pack patience at times because these are real people too, right? That are trying behind the scenes to deliver a great experience.
Yep. And they're learning how to do those things and how to do the things better. So if you have a so-so experience in a new business, go back in a month or two and, try them again, because the quality, I think, of the product is amazing. Right. Because good Lazy Doughnuts, I'm getting all those different kinds. So, but it's also great that there's so much interest. And so hopefully that, a lot of businesses, may open up and nobody comes, but I think our community is really good about supporting our local businesses. So thank you. But also, pack your patience. I love that saying.
Yeah. So in our last podcast, we kind of teased that there was a new spot to eat opening up in Old Town. Are you ready to share any more?
Yeah. Well, so lots of people are like, what happened to Subway in downtown? And so all of a sudden, a sign comes down. So it's going to be JoJo's Cafe. And so we're going to have a coffee and pastries. And so a place to actually meet folks, sit down, enjoy. And the owners have owned other businesses in Bellevue and are so excited to be part of downtown Issaquah. So they're moving and getting those things together. And so can't wait to announce when they open. But I know, for us that work in downtown, it's nice to have another location to go and meet some folks in. Issaquah Coffee, we love them. All these Starbucks, another place, going to whatever place, the Great American Diner in downtown, great. But having a coffee shop with some pastries just adds to the options. So
we've been talking a lot about placemaking at the city, or finding places that people go to gather and to connect. And so many of those places are actually local businesses. And so coffee shops is a great example of that, right? That's a place you would go and meet up, whether it's for a meeting or to see a friend or connect with someone else in the community. And so any more of those spaces that open up, I think, are just such a benefit to kind of the network that is Issaquah. I wanted to mention another one that, my family, we were at Formula Brewing last weekend, and I hadn't been there in a while. And I was amazed just looking at the signs around the brewery, just how many different events that they're hosting that are very community focused, where again, they've become just kind of this this hub where a
Mm,
lot of just Issaquah fun is happening, unrelated to the pizza and the drinks and everything
right.
else. It's a placemaking spot. And so I looked it up just online. And if you go to visit Issaquah.com, oftentimes a lot of these events are covered. They're not so much on the city's pages, but on Visit Issaquah, they're really great about updating you on kind of new or interesting events going on around town. But just in the past while, there was the Friends of Lake Sammamish State Park and the history museums came in and spoke about the history of Issaquah and of the state park. There's a wood spoon carving club that meets. I know.
What? What?
Yeah,
That is
there's,
awesome.
I know. And there's, a drink and draw. So people that were either drawing on iPads or on devices or just in their sketchbooks and connecting with each other as just artist to artist. And then there was another one I think that you had heard of about 3D printing too, or those that are
Yeah.
enthusiasts in 3D printing.
So the same night, and this is, I think, again, that building upon other things. So the same night as the drink and draw, I understand that there's a group of people who are interested in 3D printing. And so they come, they talk about things, and they just kind of, geek out on that really
Yeah.
cool technology and that creativeness that you put into that. So I think it's interesting to think about. So obviously somebody who's sketching on a pad and somebody who's creating something on 3D printer may seem different, but they're not,
Hmm.
right? There's a lot of
Hmm.
creativity and overlap. And so that's, I think, again, the beauty of like you said, these places that become community gathering spaces,
Hmm.
and this intentional programming slash people walking up and seeing it. That's community right there. So
It
love it.
is, yeah. So check out visit Issaquah.com. I also follow them on Instagram, and they do a great job of just doing like a collection of events in one post that just says, here's what's coming up in March.
Yep.
So that's just a fun way to see what's new or different that's going on around town. Also, I mentioned, speaking of Instagram, I just saw a post that announced that Hamid Ashley is now back open Tuesdays through Saturdays. This is a business that does hand carved instruments. It's one of the few, from my understanding, that's out there anymore. So, like violins and other instruments that are really handcrafted here in town. And they sustained a lot of damage during the bomb cyclone. And I know it was not only to their building, which we covered, I think, in one of our other podcasts,
Mhm.
but there was close to 850 instruments that were damaged or ruined. So the recovery
Mhm.
is not only in the building, but in all of their inventory as well. So I was really heartened to hear that they had opened up again and they're starting to rebuild and they're going to stick around to support the community.
Yeah, when I've talked to them in the past, it's amazing where people come from all over the state, the region, probably
Wow.
the country, maybe the world, to like, connect with the craftsmanship of Ham and Ashley. And so it's just really, um, yeah, it's very sad to think that 850 instruments were damaged or
Hmm.
destroyed, but that they just get back to it, and there's a huge community that supports them. So yeah, if you have a stringed instrument, go check them out, because they do have retail section of their business. So help
Yeah.
support that
So
recovery.
I think it's fair that we can just pretend that spring is here and start talking about, spring like events, right?
Sure, sure.
So our farmers market at the city doesn't open until May, and don't worry, we'll be covering that plenty, I'm sure, when that time comes. But until then, there is the Farm Fresh Market, which runs Saturdays, so starting March 22nd through April 26th, from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the historic Shell Station down on Front Street. So you can kind of get warmed up to the
Yeah.
idea, right, of
Mhm.
farmers
Love it.
markets.
Love
Yeah, and
it.
I know there's fresh flowers and there can be some, limited produce and other things. So it's just like a taste of what's to come. So be sure to check that out. It's also kind of the start of all of those fun events that we know it happen, right there in Old Town, especially on Front Street. It kind of kicks it off. So
Yep.
exciting that that is starting.
Yeah. Well, and I've heard the second year they're going to do the sustainable wedding show at Pickering Barn, and that's going to be on April 6th. Have you heard about this, Autumn?
I know that it was really successful last year in its first year at the barn, and our barn is It is very hard to book a date for weddings at the Pickering Barn. It's just a beautiful venue for events. And so it's really exciting that especially those that maybe are planning to get married here in town can go to this event. But then, I'm sure it's going to have much of a draw region wide because it's specific to vendors who have a commitment to sustainability. So it's anything from dressmakers to caterers to planners or florists. So if you're interested in making sure that there's some sustainable elements to your wedding, it's like the one-stop shop.
That's really important because you think about all the things that you end up buying, doing around weddings, to know that you're not, you're making a lighter touch on our earth. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. Okay, another thing that kind of reminds me, I guess, of spring and summer is Burgermaster had always said that they were bringing back car shows.
Yes.
So is that true? Is that happening?
Yes. And they're starting in April. So April 13th, they're going to have their first car show. It's the VW or Volkswagen Spring Show. And then it's not every week yet. So they're going to have another one over Memorial Day weekend. It's a BMW car show. And then they're going to, into June and July, going to have, more car shows that are more frequent. So you can definitely check out their website to see the latest and which weekends you're going to come check them out. So really excited to see that getting activated again. And every time I drive by Burgermaster, there is a line in the drive-thru. It is great. And it's worth the wait.
It is. And they've expanded their menu so that at least because it was limited, right, in Issaquah. And so they've brought now the grilled cheese, which my vegetarian daughter's very happy about, and onion rings. So there is more. I know they've expanded. So it's worth the wait in the line if you're going to grab food too. So, we were also speaking of sustainability as we were talking about the wedding show. We were also talking as a communications team about how Food Waste Prevention Week is coming up. It's on April 7th through the 13th. And just thinking through ways that we can help promote, how we can reduce in our community our food waste. There's a lot of resources that we'll be sharing that are not related to business. But one that I wanted to mention on our podcast is an app called Too Good to Go. Have you heard of this before?
No.
Oh,
tell.
So I've been on it for a while now, and you just download it and you can search by your location and how many miles you're willing to drive. And it shows all the restaurants or cafes or shops or even sometimes grocery stores who may have extra food, and they'll bundle it up for you and you get it at a deeply discounted rate. So, one that I've always eyed is Legendary Donuts here in town. Oftentimes they'll have donuts left over. You don't get to order which donuts, right? But instead you can pick up a whole bag, for, again, super cheap prices. And they allot certain times that you come by to do the pickup. But it's a really great way that you can support local business and also reduce food waste and, again, support a business where otherwise that food may have gone to waste. So check it out. And then we'll all compete together on this app to get the limited food. So a lot of times these folks will sell out. So you do have to be on top of it in the morning to check what kind of stock they have. But it's fun. I enjoy it. I always like a good deal.
Me too. And then you get to try new places without the big investment. And you're like, oh, I'm going back there. So I love that.
Yeah. Another one I've been eyeing is Cafe Ladro that's up in the Highlands. They often too will sell a lot of their food at the end of the day. Yeah. And then you have it for the next morning. Yeah.
Yeah. That's perfect.
So yeah.
Love it.
All right. Oh, so now stay tuned. We're going to be turning to our spotlight for the Grange's 90th anniversary celebration. This took place a few weeks ago. A ton of fun, I heard, for those that went. And let's learn more about the Grange.
In today's world, there's not a lot of businesses that get to be 20 years old, 50 years old. For us, we were established in 1934 and moved to Issaquah shortly after that. So the Grange is a co-op. Started primarily in fuel and tractor sales, actually, and have expanded into feed, lawn and garden things, small animal. One of the nice things about working here in Grange Supply is our focus on the community and on the individual customers.
I live in North Bend, just pretty close. We've been there since 1989, and that's about how long we've been coming here. So the Grange has been amazing. We've had as many as 5 horses, 13 cows, and so this place has been, just a lifesaver.
I don't ride horses, but I do wear riding gear. I'm a dog trainer, and so I work on the elements a lot. And most of this stuff is waterproof or water resistant, and it's also really hair resistant too. So I love it for that. We also have a little farm, so we have goats and chickens and a pig, and we buy all of our supplies here for that.
We've been coming for about 10 years.
And what do you get?
We shop for a lot of the plants, and we've done some of their fencing. And now that we have her, we're coming for dog food.
Well, a big change is we have visibility in the store. So we used to have really tall fixtures throughout the store, and so we dropped that down. It used to be if you were standing in the back of the store, you could not see the front, meaning we couldn't see our customers that were in the back. And so everything feels lighter. We've brought the clothing department up.
We really wanted to keep with this reset the feel of down-home Issaquah, and that's why we're not ripping down buildings and rebuilding things. We're making changes to make it better shopping experience for everybody.
We want to be the store for everybody. We carry a wide variety of products, and so we still have, our basic, grains and our pasture seeds, and then we have more specialty products too. So whatever, if you have an animal that you want to care for, or you have a plant you want to grow, big or small, we're here to take care of everything.
If you're looking for a place that you can get to know employees that are going to be there for a while, our staff is amazing. They're all very knowledgeable. Everybody's more than willing to sit and have a conversation and get to know our customers on a personal level. And that's kind of what sets us apart from a lot of other places these days.
The staff here is really nice and knowledgeable, and if they don't know, they'll find someone here who does. And so I found that we could get some great information on whatever we're shopping for here.
This is just a lovely store. I get excited to come every time I'm on my way, and it feels like family here. Yeah.
All our kids have kind of grown up here. The people are wonderful. Gosh, I don't know, it's like family.
Gosh, I am sad that I missed that event. The Grange is one of my favorite places to take my family. We definitely have a tradition every spring of going and looking for baby chicks at the Grange. But then also, there's just so much amazing things to look at. Like, I could be in there for hours.
I'm always surprised. I turn the corner and I'm like, wait, they have this here? So
Yeah.
It's amazing. And I'm bummed the chicks are already gone this year, huh? The chick sale
Yeah, that's what I
happened.
hear. Yeah, I don't know if there'll be more, but we'll have to keep a lookout. But
Yes.
as you know, again, as spring is starting to arrive, I'm going to talk it into existence. A lot of cool gardening stuff too. I always leave thinking this is my year for gardening. So definitely go check out the Grange. And I'm just so grateful that they've been in our community for so long. So I'm really, really happy that they had that time to celebrate with the community. Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, so that's a wrap on this edition of Issaquah Buzz. Thanks so much for joining us. Join us next time to hear more about other business news. If you have any questions or gossip that you'd like us to track down, make sure to email us at ed@issaquahwa.gov. Thanks so much.
Thank you.